I'm like counting down to what it's like.
Right. And again, I mean, a lot of people choose houses that like are not mirror images, but it's like other pictures that that's like even my sister and mother-in-law. I don't really think these things are like, I don't know what to like. And then I'm like, yeah, it's the narcissist that I saw that I agree. So like darker colors.
Yeah, it was.
But more, because you're like, I really can't find the sun.
That's a long book. That's still a really long book.
About to get started. You are a guest. Please grab a seat.
That's some of the New York. It's very rare.
If you are a Vayner employee, please make a space for the guest.
Thank you. I'll pull over this way.
Good, that's what I want them to do. Why is it not good? Thank you so much. Hi. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Oh, this is yours. This is. Oh, wow.
Okay,
That's
everyone.
Are we live streaming right now?
VaynerX Live Shopping Summit. You are in this room because you are interested in the wonderful world of live shopping. We have some of the world's most loved and best brands with us here today. Absolutely incredible creators and very dynamic roster of speakers. When we were putting together our thoughts on what is the best way to kick off the Live Shopping Summit, the very first dream on our manifestation board was QVC. I'm so thrilled to be joined by Alex, who's the president of the QVC group, who's going to share a lot about the amazing work that they're doing today.
Can you switch out the volume on that?
All right, Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself and how we convinced you to get up here.
Well, this is a very auspicious event, an incredibly intimate crowd. It's good to see everybody here. I love QVC. I came on 6 months ago, and any opportunity to talk about what they're doing is an opportunity to spend time with you. And I think Carrie has been one of the loudest voices about live shopping. They're so beloved and iconic, like QVC, and so I feel very lucky to be there. And it was really the people that I met along the way that made me say, "All right, you have to go. You have to go there."
Fantastic. Well, we are going to start off with a quick video because many of you know, you think you know QVC, but there's a lot more that's happening in the world of the QVC group. So turn your attention to this quick video we're going to play that shares a little bit of what they're up to and some eye-popping statistics. All right, so
I can tell you what the video is. No, we have to watch the video.
We'll watch the video.
It'll be fun. It'll be a closer.
it is yeah, we'll have it as a sizzle closer. So Alex, let's talk a little bit about what is happening in the world of QVC Group. I think people think that live social shopping is something that's completely net new, but I'd say that your organization is really the pioneers of what's possible in the world of live shopping.
I think that we should just talk and level set about QVC, because I think I thought I knew 6 months ago what QVC is. When you look at the amount of content, right, Avery, that we create, we're doing 120 live hours every day on television. That adds up to 40,000 hours a year of content. We'll be with maybe 1,200 different products in a given week, 4,000 different vendors that we're working with. For our website, over 1 billion in the last year sessions. And then on TikTok, and we're gonna talk a little bit about TikTok, we get this. We're already doing 170 live hours on TikTok. We have 5 channels, and we'll talk about them too. 35 million sessions, essentially, and live streams that we've done on that already. And it's working with more creators than you would imagine. In the time we've been doing this, less than a year, and this is the jaw-dropping part for me, 400,000 creators we're working with on TikTok, and we even have a loyalty program that was the first launched on TikTok. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I think the only other thing I would say to you, Avery, is that we're bigger in the way we ship things out too, right? We do 200 million shipments in the last year. We have 400,000 SKUs. We have 15 different fulfillment centers. We have 13 million customers. Like, you think you know QVC, and they're just massive. They are the original social influencer, right? They are the disruptor in this space. There's no one really bringing storytelling and scale and shoppability in an entertaining way. And now is this moment, like, how great is this? Is this moment where people are live shopping on social. This is exactly the right time for us.
Let's talk a little bit about that DNA, that sort of initial behavior. I also want to give a huge shout out to Kim, who is here. Kim is actually going to be on a panel later, has sold billions of dollars worth of products on QVC. And I think a lot of times, we have these influencers or new creators who have started or been at this for 12 months or 18 months. There are people who've been doing this for years and decades and built really successful businesses, leveraging the power of QVC and the power of social shopping. Can you talk a little bit about how you think that DNA has influenced this next generation of more sort of social media centric shopping?
Yeah, I think, I mean, when you look at the landscape, right, and I would just say there are two kind of things happening at confluence of events, right? There's this $1.3 trillion e-commerce business now that's going to grow by $1 trillion in the next 5 years, right? And social. China, 500 billion. Most of it live shopping right now. This very thing that's behind us, that's happening in China. It's a leading indicator of where things are going. And so there's so much energy around that. And then QVC and many of the people who are working in social shopping want to make a connection with others. That's what it was all about, right? Is that human connection. I think we'll talk a little bit about AI as well too, but we specialize in connecting with people on a one-to-one basis on the social platform. We've done it obviously on a one-to-many basis across our TV network. So I think a lot of the things, a lot of the behaviors, like you and I talked about this, like scrolling, right? So social scrolling is the new channel surfing. Scrolling through channels like so what's going to make my thumb stop? What is going to be the one thing that makes me stop? And nowadays, it might be some sort of incredible video that you can't believe. But the reality is that with AI, I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. The thing that really gets me to stop is a person that I can connect to, that I know is on the other side, that can relate to it, that has done it, has won it, has seen it, who lives it. And I think that notion is something that people are starving for, and that's why it's worked in China, and I think that's why we're seeing it pick up here, and that's why you guys are doing the summit.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember maybe 6 years ago, I did our VaynerX first ever live stream with a celebrity in China, And of course, I couldn't read any of the Mandarin characters, but I asked the team what was happening. So there was like millions of comments, and they're like, "Oh, it's saying they're so tired, they're closing their eyes, but they can't wait for the promo code. They can't wait for the promo code." And I was like, "There's a behavior called Cinderella shoppers." And we had a actually Chinese rapper, Lucy Liu, who did a performance for this brand, and it was crazy because when they showed the results, I was like, "That must have an extra zero." And they're like, "No, that's accurate." And it was, within a matter of minutes, selling millions of dollars worth of product. Of course, China is a whole different scale, but you all see stuff like that happen on your platform every day.
Yeah, and Kim will talk a little bit about that too, and it takes a certain level of stamina and brilliance and talent that she brings to it, and it takes a unique type. But what I would say to you, Avery, is the reason that it's still early days, and I think people in this room can relate, but it will be huge. There's no doubt about it, and Gary and all of you know this, is because it's very hard, right? It's very hard. Like, you can disintermediate different parts of the value chain. You can do things where you can broadcast very quickly, but to do what we're trying to do at scale is massive, right? Not only do we have the personalities, and not only do we have the content, but then you have to identify the merchandise, source the merchandise, warehouse the merchandise, create the content for many different platforms. Then you have to actually get the transaction done and close the deal on an e-commerce site. Oh, and by the way, you have to fulfill that and send it out
and there's more.
and deliver it, right? I mean, and you know what the one thing that I think about, Avery, all the time, and that I find so impressive about QVC and HSN is the customer service, right? If you buy something, and we should talk about trust, but if you buy something, who do you call? How do you make sure you got it? How do you return it? How do you trade up? How do you upsell? How do you do any of those things? So I think that's why kind of QVC was waiting for this, and HSN was waiting for this moment. This is the moment to do that. And we want to work with people to do that. We want to help each other because I think all boats rise by doing it together.
I completely agree. And you talked a little about the talent, and it is such a talent who's able to both connect with consumers, sell products to consumers, drive that trust, drive that relatability. Talk a little bit about the investment that your organization is also putting behind the talents and all the different platforms you're showing up on.
Sure. So we are in very big. You hear of QVC Group, which includes HSN, includes QVC, of course,
and Valor Designs, which
and
I
Valor
recently learned.
and all the cornerstone brands, right? So again, much bigger, and we're going to be selling products and have been selling products from those brands as well too. I think that the level of investment has been significant because we know that we have to get to these individual cohorts. I think Gary's done a great job talking a little bit about organic and about more narrow cohorts. And so now we have QVC, we have HSN on TikTok, but we also have QVC Beauty, we have QVC Fashion. We're about to launch in October, QVC Decor, right? And so getting these destinations and getting them places where people can come to and have a reliable way of connecting with one another and connecting with one another there, I think is going to be extremely powerful. I foresee with the team 100 channels like that, where we're actually able to connect with them in a deep way. And I think the thing that I would add is we did, many of you may know this, but in April we announced a partnership with TikTok to go in deeply. And it's enabled us to really run and learn and do these 170 hours that we're doing every week, have 5 channels, we'll have 10 studios by the end of the year. And we've been able to learn just so much by doing that and iterate and learn from the customers and learn from the vendors.
Yeah, I think that that's an unexpected move and not necessarily one that everyone would think QVC is going to partner up with TikTok, but I think it's brilliant because you all have the talent and the network and the distribution. Partnering with TikTok to use a lot of their channels to help amplify and tell that story is brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit about that decision and also how QVC and HSN Group are showing up in the world of TikTok?
Yeah, we've, I think right now, like I said, I would say that there's 2 parts to this, right? So of course there's a live piece, which takes a very unique expertise. Many of our the talent, gifted talent like him, are omni-channel, right? So they're able to work across many of these different platforms.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere, and all votes do really rise. Like you can say you're 360, but we are truly omni-channel, right? We're on linear, we're on digital, we're on streaming, we're on social, and we're able to eventize things in a really exciting way. But I think when you think about what we're doing on TikTok, we have this live piece, and we're setting up more quickly I think I said 35 million live streams in just the few months that we've done this in the last year. And then on top of that, we are working with so many creators, right? The 400,000 creators over the course of the last 8 months. And so we've set up loyalty programs. We're investing in them. If you're a creator and you work with QVC, we want it to be worth your time. We want to give you more if you're doing a better sales, larger sales on commission, give you access to products that you wouldn't necessarily have, give you an education about that, give you awards. So I think it's a two-way street. We have a relationship with the customer and then the customer with us. We have a relationship with our vendors. It's really important that they're on that. And then we have a relationship with our creators. There's no way it works without the creators and that authentic connection to the brand.
Absolutely incredible. So you mentioned trust, and I think that's such a critical variable in general in 2026. Consumer trust in many things has never been lower, but in certain things, including brands, that's actually a place that you're not sure if they can trust the news, but sometimes they can trust their favorite brands. And QVC Group sits at this intersection of entertainment, really, trust, and convenience. How do you strike that balance, and how do you think about that as a leader of the organization going into 2026?
I love this question. This is my favorite question so far. The reason is that there's a problem. I don't know if you can relate, but there's a problem in commerce, in retail right now, okay? So on the one hand, you've got these big box stores that are very efficient, very trustworthy, not fun. Then over here, you've got social, super fun. Don't know if you can trust it. If you can bring together entertainment and e-commerce and retail and do it in a way, which is what we specialized in, I think that is a winning move. I love that hand. That's why I came, because I met the people who were convinced that they could do it. And David Rawlinson is our CEO. He had a vision that this is where we need to go. And we have this win strategy, which you may hear about, but it's wherever, right? Wherever she is, and being inspiring about our products and people. And the end is in new ways to work. And we have, kind of all of us rowing in that same exact direction because we know that it's important to be able to trust a brand. And it's important to be entertaining and fun and to connect with someone on a human scale. And so with social, we can do that. We're back, right? In that way that we connect on a one-on-one basis. People can comment, people can ask questions. We can connect with our individual contributors and hosts, which are hungry for it. I know Kim wants to talk to every single person, and it kills her that she can't do that every single time with every person. Then there are millions of people, and TV is so critical. But on social, it's really given us another opportunity to amplify what we're doing on TV, amplify what we're doing on digital, and bring in streaming so you can go even deeper.
And I'm curious, this wasn't even a scripted question, but I'm curious if this is bringing in new demographics to your organization, or is it the same people in another place?
The audience that is 45-year-old, 50 women and above are definitely on TikTok, right? They're definitely on social media. I think we're being foolish if we think that they're not buying at a significant rate on these different platforms. I think that some of the audience is definitely coming over and they're already there and they're like, where were you? Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
We were waiting for you. And I think a lot of brands are going to need to mobilize quickly. And if we can help those brands, we'll do it just because we're investing in learning. But here's a stat that is awesome. My favorite stat so far, which is that in Q2 alone, we had over 100,000 new customers. Customers that never, I'm not talking about reactivated. I'm not talking about, we looked at our entire customer file of millions and millions of people. And we looked at everybody that was coming through transactions on TikTok. And over 100,000. One of our very fastest growing channels was TikTok. And we were nowhere 6 or 8 months ago because no one was anywhere. And we went in early and it's been very rewarding. So the answer is yes and, right? Some of them are already there, but the fastest growing probably consumer base is happening already in TikTok. And I predict it will overtake it, any channel that we're working in, at least in the short term.
That's amazing.
That was unscripted.
He's not fast.
I know, I'm talking too fast.
Yeah, well, I'd love to hear some of your other surprising learnings because there must be things over the last several months as you've learned different things, uncovered different stones. What has stood out to you in the last several months that you've been at the QVC Group?
There are many things that come to mind. I think by getting into the categories, by working so closely with TikTok on this, and then expanding our streaming, leaning into all of the other platforms like Meta and Instagram and Pinterest. I think one thing that has been amazing is the scale. So we talked about that a little, 400,000 creators, but we also have 75,000 products that are on TikTok right now that our affiliates can sell, right, and tag. We are, I think the scale, we've tripled our number of followers on TikTok. I think it's just kind of jaw-dropping how much scale, how so quickly we did that. I think another thing outside of the new customers that has been surprising, exciting, is that we eventize things. So I kind of alluded to this already, but we had Super Brand Day, something that TikTok does. We were able to combine that with an Age of Possibility event where we had our ambassadors there, all in Los Angeles. We were able to create something bigger in real life that still had an extension to a Super Brand Day or a mega event. All these different things, like you can really eventize things. You can look at the before, during, and after of an event on TikTok, right? And then we can work with all of our talent to make sure that you cannot miss it on TV. You cannot miss something you can only get on streaming and get on programming. So I think those things have been surprising. I love food. We did an experiment with Dave Venable the other day with food, and people went crazy. It's really fun to buy food, and everyone likes food. And our food is amazing. You might be surprised, but the food's incredible.
What's your favorite food?
Well, I just got,
that you
I'm in Los Angeles right now, but I'm always in Westchester for work, but I missed the bagels, and there was some really great, New York bagels that I got shipped to my house. So my family just gobbled them up. And there's salmon, and there's just, the list goes on, there's candy, there's so many really, yummy things.
My favorite category in the QVC world is home care products. I feel like I learn a lot about cleaning
Yes.
products there. There's a lot of education that goes into these things.
Yes, the demos are great. I know that it's a
I'm
little
not
retro.
45, Alex.
Yes, and you don't need to, there was this expression that Avery, I think someone said, what is it, that TikTok is the QVC of Gen Z. And I would submit to you that QVC is the QVC of Gen Z, right? And it's for all of us, right? It is that next connection. It is, as Gary said eloquently, the QVCification of things. And so, again, I know I'm like rah-rah about all this, but I would just say to you, we want to see this succeed. Whether we work with you directly as a creator or as a vendor, or if we're side by side, channel by channel, it works for all of us. And we can see it coming, that wave, right? We're out paddling on that board. I'm thinking of my son right now. And it is a wave to catch. And I think you guys have been prescient about this, and the fact that this summit probably has never existed, not only for you, but for anyone, and probably at least in the United States, is really a great sign.
I thank you for saying that. It's something that we've been practicing and getting better. We've got a lot of people in this room that have helped us build that, from our own live shopping studio at Hudson Yards to many of the brands who helped us with various pilots. But you all can help people a lot. So whether someone here is in the audience as a creator or as a brand, how can QVC Group help them? How do they get involved?
So if you're on TikTok already as a creator in our affiliate program, we have a loyalty program, right? We look at the top 5, 10, 50, 100, and we reward you with better commissions, with awards of access to certain products. You can win a trip. So we really have thought through, and no one's done that yet. So if you're a creator, yes, you could have opportunities to be on our individual streams and live streams that we're doing, but you could also just pick the product you love, talk about it from the heart, and make a fortune, right? Because you're out there talking about it and reaching out to people. For vendors, we have 400,000 SKUs. We work with over 4,000 different vendors. I think it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me sometimes, as you can tell, and we're learning all the time, but we are so far ahead. And it's so important to be quick that if there are people, if there are vendors, and you're like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know how to, I have the material, or I have the talent, or I have some part of the value chain, but I don't have all the pieces. We will help you. We can do that together. Under this QVC brand, under the Q brand, under the HSN brand. So I would say to vendors who want to dip their toe in the water, this is a very quick way to do that.
Fantastic. Alex, thank you so much. This was a fascinating, highly educational, and entertaining day.
But Hillary Duff is joining us for a brand new launch of her own brand.
Okay, Tyler, come on up.
Thank you.
All right, well, Tyler's walking up here. We're going to talk him up a little bit. Tyler is an absolute legend in the Vayner space. He hosts several pods and a fantastic moderator, and he is going to help us with a very fun panel. Tyler, over to you.
I think Jack is a little behind, but I'll just take the elevator down and join us. This is fun. I'm typically indulging in different activities when I'm in this room at night on the weekends, but it's cool to see everyone here. Oh, man. We just came from Comic-Con. VaynerX has a lot of different things going on over at Comic-Con. We talked to a bunch of different retailers, comic shop retailers today. So it's a fun day for myself going from Comic-Con to Abbey, having a lot of fun with that. I'm really pumped about this panel. I do a lot of work in the Vayner space with creators over the years, kind of the emergence, the rise of creator media. Reels was all the rage and still is for a long time, and now live shopping. We have a really, what I'll say, eclectic group that's joining us from Kim, who I would say is probably the most OG, the most gangster of everyone in this room, in this space, the one that's been around for the longest. We have young creators that are just, I would say, printing cash in a lot of ways. And then sports cards, blind box, Labubu, if you know what that is, people that are dominating that space. So we're gonna have some fun. We got some preset questions.
And if you don't know what a Labubu is, check your gift bag.
And then probably flip it on eBay or sell it live. So crew, come join. Let's do it. If Jack does show up, just send him up here.
I've never been called an OG, and I've never been the oldest on the platform. So.
We're all gonna learn from you today. All right. I am gonna, what I'm first gonna do is go down the line. I want you all to introduce yourself and what are you up to in the live shopping space? I really want everyone to understand the difference that is happening across the board here. Everyone, the way that we kind of put this together and thought about it is really different platform, different approach. And so we'd just love to hear, how are you engaging in the overall space?
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Caitlin and I'm the CEO and founder of Katie Co. I am selling on Whatnot currently. I had started on Poshmark, but I've been on Whatnot for about 2 years. And yeah, we're just like, it's insane. It's definitely different than like TikTok in the sense of like, we're buying a lot of like brand returns and everything we sell is normally very different. So like we do something called pools. So like normally in a show, I'll have 500 different pieces. So recently we've been buying Quince returns, which is a brand. And so out of those 500 pieces, every single item is different. And it just keeps like everyone wondering what's next. But additionally, like similar to QVC, we do have like a buy it now section, it's called, where people can also just buy the item straight up instead of in auction. Whatnot's very auction based. So
Quick follow-up question. How many hours of programming a week are you putting out?
streamers. Yep. So between all streamers, I would say probably around like 50 hours a week.
I'm Kim Gravel. I am a founder. I have 5 brands. All of them are on QVC and they sit on all the platforms. My boys are doing Whatnot for me. So yeah, it's a family business. But I think that I've been social selling, when you say OG, probably for over 10 years. We just in one category, which is our fashion brand, we're over 300 million a year in jewelry and cosmetics, home, and now we're hitting the food chain too. So, you know, it's been, I always say this, and I'll say this to all of you, you're not in the product business, you're in the people business. And that's why we have been so uber successful for so many years, is that consistency of making the customer our best friend. And so that is my next venture, is doing this live social selling development. Because as Alex said, even with QVC, and y'all know this too online, they're buying you. They're not buying your product. So talent is important, but it's more than talent because I'm telling y'all, they're buying you. You're in the people business, not the product business.
And you start off saying, even in social selling, and I think as a lot of people have iPhones, you kind of, I think, witnessed this change of the access has gotten a lot closer as you're live.
Yeah.
Can you just talk a little bit about, now this is the live shopping summit, what are the things that you're seeing that these sites have opened, direct access, what has changed in that regard for you?
Well, I know for QVC, we cracked open this connection. You heard Alex talk about it, and I'm sure you connect with your own things, and same with you guys. But I'm out there, I'm doing my thing, but then I have a team and actually a social representative who is there constantly answering questions and comments. See, we make it about the customer. It's not about how cute I look or what great products we have. And so when you have that touch point, when you're live social selling, you are going to close, I would say 30 to 40% of your sales more because people want to be noticed and validated. I know that sounds like we're having some kind of psychology experiment here, but it's really, really true. It's that authenticity that makes the difference, and it helps the bottom line. It's been a game changer for us.
Hey guys, my name is Austin. I'm the founder and CEO of Blazing Cards. Currently, we currently have 3 channels, one on Whatnot, 2 on TikTok. One TikTok channel is 24/7, the other one is 16 hours a day, and then our Whatnot channel is about 40 hours a week. And then our plan is to launch 2 more channels by the end of Q4 on TikTok specifically.
Austin, are you on air talent? Do you stream yourself?
So I used to out of my apartment. That was how it all started.
That's right.
Yeah, now I have, we have 20 employees, probably about 14 streamers. So, I hop in every once in a while to connect to the community and just try to interact with everybody. I might stream about 2 hours a week, just covering a break or so. But yeah, otherwise behind the scenes.
Jack, timely arrival, nice work.
Moved right in. None of you guys noticed. I was here the whole time. Hey everyone, my name is Jack. I'm the founder of Jack's Dining Room and Yes Chef Food Fest. Currently, we have around 5 channels now. It's expanded pretty quickly. We have Jack's Dining Room, which started 3 years ago. That's the main content engine that kind of pushes everything. About 1.5 years ago, we launched Yes Chef Food Fest, which we just did the second one this past June, sold out 10,000 people, mainly through Instagram, TikTok, and our social channels. We just recently launched our Yes Chef Run Club, which we live streamed the whole thing, which is a really fun initiative for us. And we also have Yes Chef Reserve, which is like our high-end, invite-only branded experiences. And then we also have the Yes Chef Supply, which is the hat I'm wearing. So, the content, and listening to you guys say the content piece and being able to adapt and be live and kind of streamline all of it and make it like a flywheel so you can hit every part of the consumer and all of their consumer journeys and offer them more than just one thing and many types of content. I am recently trying to catch up and get into the live space. I know this is something that Tyler's been pushing a lot, and you guys do really well here at Vayner, and hearing you guys talk, I have a lot of work to do, but trying to break into the streaming world and now thinking about content. And when we're thinking about, this is a secret, but we're actually bringing our festival to LA in March. You guys are some of the first people to know here. And we're thinking about how can we create moments and activations that can kind of be a 2-for-1. They can be live streamed and you can get clips from the live stream and engage with an audience live, and also that content live past live. I think live stream in a lot of ways is a huge cheat code because you're doing 2 things at once. It's not just it's alive and it's never repurposed again. You can create a viral moment, you can do it live, engage with thousands of people, and you can also use that content clipping, repurposing to promote other things. So that's kind of how we're thinking about using live in the moment and then beyond and past that moment. And yeah, for me right now, I would say I'm trying to get actively more on stream and these other live channels, but TikTok and YouTube, Facebook are really fun, and I think really a strong way to engage with an audience and let them ask you things in real life, real time that they're curious about.
Yeah, and you're also doing work with Amazon Live, right? You do some live shopping with Amazon, and why I think it's fascinating. These are all really, I think, different approaches again, I've worked in the influencer creator space with Vayner for a long period of time. You have built an immense brand, and in the food space, definitely in New York, and really globally, you've traveled all over following traditional creator, I might say. Now you're doing Amazon Live. What are you tasting? What are you seeing? What is it going to mean to your overall business?
Yeah, I really enjoy Live and Amazon Live. It's genuinely like one of the most fun things I can do because so much of the content, like you can see it and maybe it's a day old, or sometimes you see a video that's 2 weeks old. Like it's not, there's a disconnect between watching a piece of content online and actually watching someone live, and they can ask you guys questions. And like you said, at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. Like people are buying into a brand or a product because of the person who's pushing that, not just the product itself. And I think live shopping is the future of how everyone is going to be consuming products and buying products. So for me, like we just did, it was really fun with Amazon Live. We did our first, usually they're in the Amazon studios, but we did our first Amazon Live actually in a restaurant. So we went in and it was like, essentially you come to dinner with me live. And there's different products, whether it be like the phone case or the tripod that we're using, that you can actually buy live. And I can talk about like, oh, this is the tripod that I like to use when I record videos. When I go to a restaurant, it's right here. And it's a really seamless way for people watching to engage in the content and be like, oh, okay, I want to make content. Boom, I'm just gonna get that right here.
Katie, and I kind of want to, like, you've engaged in live shopping, Jack, through selling other brands. Katie, yourself as well. The amount of sourcing that I'm thinking that you're doing. Kim, a lot of it is your brands that you've developed and partners. What is it? What's the journey been like? And there's probably brands in the room that you've sold maybe some of their products. Running the operation, being a streamer, and then what is the sourcing process like, and how are you going about that? What are you seeing out there from that?
Yeah, so I never sleep ever. Yeah, it's definitely a lot to like keep up with everything. I am thankful for my LinkedIn, and a lot of people have reached out to me through there. The beautiful thing about my business is that I tap into, like, I have certain like suppliers that they take a load off of me in a sense of they are sourcing those deals for me. Like, there's a lot of like B2B platforms now, and they'll be like, hey, Caitlin, here's deals. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to offer? And then they kind of handle a lot of that like stuff I don't want to handle. And if there's an order issue, then I go to them and they solve it for me immediately. And then there is Brand Direct, and a lot of brands I've been able to connect with by taking in their returns. So, like, because they don't want to take it back, or even damages, past seasons. But yeah, the process is, I mean, once you've built the relationships, it gets a lot easier. And then, you know, they'll be like, hey, she was so easy to work with. And then they'll pass me on to their next brand friend or whatever. But like, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a lot.
How many employees do you guys have?
So we have like 12 right now. Like, I don't even know. But yeah, we have, most of them are full-time. And I am the primary streamer right now because they just, I mean, I don't want to, like, they really love me and I haven't trusted anyone else with it yet.
Yeah.
And I love being live. Like, I just love it. And so I'm like, I don't want to get that off. I'd rather hire out the other things, like, you know, packing and all the things I hate. Like, everyone always says, like I love what I do because I've hired out all the things I don't love to do. So I just do what I love and it really comes easy to me. And touching like on the, you're selling yourself, like I'll be like, you guys, you have to buy this. It's so good. And they trusted me. And I always tell them, I would never buy something that I don't personally love and I don't personally use. Like, I will test it on my skin right now to show you guys I love it and I use it. And I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't. And then boom, 100 sell.
Amazing. Kim, I'm fascinated with product development life cycle and the insights that you are probably receiving on a per stream, per show basis, right? You're in a different space. You're not going out and looking to source and buy. You're more thinking about your manufacturing cycles and what is changing in the landscape, and you're getting those things in real time. Talk to me a little bit about that process for you.
And that's a tough process as well. And when we decided to scale like we had, we never knew we would be chasing the business like we're still chasing. I'm exhausted. I've been running a marathon in fast pace for like 10 years. Get ready, girl. I'm a lot older than you. You're never gonna sleep. But anyway. Oh God, she said she used to watch me when she was younger. Do I look younger? Do I look the same? Thank you. Anyway, so back to the manufacturing. We have done something really, really special, different, and unique. We have partnered with other mega brand manufacturers. So we have a sisterhood, a group of women that come together, and you need to call me. We all come together and we source together. And to me, that has brought our costs down. They're amazing now, and QVC is an amazing partner in that. But when it comes to social selling, especially like off of QVC, we have to offer different and unique products. That's the key, y'all. It's got to be variety. And as you're talking about live selling, it can't get boring. People are wanting entertainment. They want to be entertained. You can buy stuff everywhere. I mean, Lord, Amazon, QVC, your social. I mean, I'll probably put you in business with my sons, but I'm just saying you can buy product anywhere. You've got to have that creative voice, and sometimes coming together in brands, and even with talent. Like, what if you and I did a co-op? You know, we did a collab. You would make tons of money. I would make tons of money. We would help each other. I'd get you an older market that's got a lot of money. You give me a young market that's gonna get old eventually. So it's like I always say you age into QVC. Hang on, some of y'all be there. Watch out. You'll be easy paying it too. But I'm just saying, you see what I'm saying? So collaborations when it comes to your manufacturing, all of those things make a difference in the bottom line. Because you gotta make money at the end of the day, right?
Amazing. Austin, I think a large portion of this room, I mean, obviously since really, I think 2018, sports cards has really just smashed back into pop culture and relationship building between, parents and kids. We're now into a phase where even like some of the hottest, what we call fictional cards, SpongeBob just had a huge release. Disney has really gotten into it. Marvel has really gotten into it. Pokemon, that's my big 99 first edition Pokemon. If anyone's got here, I want to buy it from you. But for the brands that are here, Labubu's, Blind Box, the gamification of purchasing, the randomization, I'm not sure, I'm buying something that might be valuable or I'm not sure. Talk to me about what you guys see, what you've learned. I don't know if you do a repack product yourself, but for a brand that's out there, how do they dip their toes into this space, whether it is putting their IP into collectibles or just kind of the gamification of selling?
Yeah, so gamification has really taken over the industry right now. Luckily, we were a little ahead of it. We started doing repacks about 2 years ago, and
can you just give 2 seconds?
What is a repack? Sure. What is a Pokemon card, for those of you who don't know? That's been around forever. So that's what we mainly sell is Pokemon cards. And a repack is when we repackage Pokemon cards into our own packaging. And there's different values to it. So we have like 4 different repacks. One's a $25 repack, one's an $80 repack, one's a $250 repack, and then our other channels have other fixtures of different price points. And so we probably do about $20,000 a day on our main channel of just repacks of graded Pokemon cards. And people are looking at these graded Pokemon cards as alternative assets now. And funny enough, a lot of crypto money has really come in and boosted the market of these graded cards.
In that $40 repack, you have the opportunity, what they'll typically do is say, okay, what might come out of it is worth $25 on the market value.
Correct.
But you might get the gold-plated one-of-one version that is $500.
Yeah.
And it's a way of taking inventory and repackaging it and allowing some surprise and gamification that takes just a one-off product. I think about lipstick. I'm like, okay, we should be doing this for lipstick because people will buy lipstick. You get this one, or you might get the super special collaborative edition or something like that.
Yeah, and I think one thing that works really well for us too is we add insurance to that gamification. So if you buy 2 at once and you get 2 floor cards, which are like $10 cards, you can then trade it into like a $30 or $40 card so that you feel better about the card that you're leaving with and get something that you actually want and it has the potential to go up in value. And I think as far as gamification going, what we're really seeing on Whatnot right now is this wheel spin where they do auctions. Whoever is the highest bidder gets the wheel spin, and you can get literally like $2 worth of value or $150 worth of value. And I'm really close with the TikTok collectibles team, and they're working on releasing their wheel here in the next month or two. I think they're just going through legal. But, we saw Pop Mart with blind boxes as well, with their Lulus just go absolutely crazy. So I think it's just another fun way to sell products, add excitement, add gamification. And yeah, at the end of the day, it is entertainment.
Jack, as a talent, I mean, look at my guy, charismatic, fresh, beautiful face. If obviously Amazon Live, it comes to you, right? And what you could do on screen for other brands, but brands coming to work with you, what do you want to see in that? If you're going to put your name on the line as selling something, you can sell your own food festival all day. You can push tickets for your own event, something that you've built. But if another brand in the room says, this guy's got something, what is it that makes you want to put your name on the line? Your trust that you have with your audience to sell that product.
Similar to what you were saying before, like I would never sell something that I don't personally use. And a lot of people always ask me to, like, oh, you never say food is bad. It's like, I don't spend my life going and eating bad food and telling you where not to eat. Like, I only want to uplift the community. I know the impact that we have. Like, I only post places that I love and I go to eat all the time. So same thing with brands. Like when we work with brands, it's a really, really selective process, and we need to control the complete creative freedom of how we're gonna go and show that brand to our audience in a way that we know our audience is gonna receive it well. And I think a lot of brands get really confused sometimes and are like, we're gonna hire you and pay you money to make content for our brand, but you need to say this, this, and this. And we're like, why are you hiring me then? Hire me to tell you what I should say because I know the audience better. So when it comes to working with brands, like if you go look at Jack's Dining Room right now, we don't do a lot of brand deals, like a very, very small amount. And I think we've been lucky to be really selective. And I think as you kind of get bigger and bigger, you can control what deals you're going to do more and what you're going to do for brands. So yeah, it comes down to having the complete creative control and really ensuring that if we're going to do this, it's going to flow how our normal content flows. And going back to also what you were saying, there's not much to do with working with brands, but the gamification of making things exciting with live selling and Labubu's, that's something that inspired us a lot. And we actually did it at our food festival. So at our fest, we had 4 different types of t-shirts that we sold. And you went up and you chose your size and a color, black and white, but you didn't choose the design. So we had 4 different designs on the back. And it was a surprise. And we had per session, we have 4 total sessions. We had 4 golden burgers that if you unbox a golden burger, I took you on stage, you got free VIP. And it was really interesting to see kind of like the Labubu gamification effect of an in-person thing, not just, I guess that's the ultimate live, if it's quite literally like in person, live, not live on video, but live. And it really dramatically increased our sales at the festival because people were so excited. We had this dude from Australia, or actually no, Great Britain. He spent $1,000 on shirts simply to unbox a golden burger, and he opened all of them in a row, and he got a golden burger. But people were purchasing 2, 3 shirts because pizza instead of the lime or the strawberry instead of the cherry, or ultimately they wanted the golden burger. And this way of gamifying it and making it fun, it's not just, oh, like I'm gonna go up and buy a t-shirt that I can see right there. It's like, no, you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna box. And I think it really added like a cool experience to the festival that no one really expected, that made the merch area kind of like its own little fun activation. So congrats to you guys as well. Trying to take place at your book.
Love it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Actually, Tyler, I think we talked about it in our meeting a few days ago where Levi's jeans actually had some collectible cards that they sold with their jeans on like a 1-day exclusive drop. And so that also, created that same gamification where you wanted to pull the one card that you actually wanted out of the 5, or you wanted to collect all 5 cards. And so I think that probably resulted in people purchasing more pairs of jeans than they would have just to try and actually get all the cards that they wanted. And so that gamification can also just help increase quantity of sales as well.
And that's creating a sense of urgency. And when you're closing a sale, that is so important to have that, I gotta have it. It's I don't want to, we're not begging, there's not trickery, but it is creating a sense of urgency that there's a limited edition and I want the golden burger.
It makes people like have to buy it.
Right.
Like it switches the narrative to like, hey, can you buy this? And they're like, no, I need 5 of them. Yeah.
urgency is really big in live selling.
Yeah, it's
And
impulse buying.
we run a lot of flash sales, so it's like, it's gonna end in a couple minutes, so buy it now for this price or it's never gonna be that
And
price
I live
again.
sell and fall into it every time.
Me too.
And I
Me
know,
too.
I know what's going on.
I don't wanna know how much I spent on live sales.
Flashbacks to me and my mom being like, well, we got the coupon, so we gotta go to the mall. Like,
Exactly. Girl Mouse
yeah.
says it's free.
And it's entertainment. What y'all are doing is entertaining and creating that sense of urgency, and bravo.
I, for individuals on the front lines of what's happening in, consumer behavior and live shopping, what we're here for, quick little insight from y'all. What is something that you're either consuming, that you're seeing, that you're enjoying, or collecting for the crowd to just leave with some insights? Start down with Jack and come this way.
I was hoping you weren't gonna start.
I was really happy you didn't start with me.
Something I could say right now, I think one of my focuses is we haven't had, I'm sure all of you guys experience this when you're starting like a brand or career, there's only so much you can do in one day, and it's whether it's making content or working at the food festival. We haven't had the time we really need to put into our apparel and our merch. It feels like there's never enough time in the day to do anything you need anymore. So for us right now, I've been really interested into some really unique clothing brands like 2J's, I'm actually wearing them right now, Siegel and Staple, how a lot of these cool brands, PacSun just did a really cool like ambassador program, how they're using live ways to just like interact with their audience and create more of the gamification and world building. And for us, and one of my focuses right now, that's around the merch and apparel side to really grow that side of our business. That's a focus of mine right now.
Nice. Awesome. Old Pokemon episode?
Yeah, literally. I'd say besides food, I'm usually consuming just other people's content. So we're primarily on TikTok, and TikTok, what's really unique about it is that, you can post your short form content, and when you're live and somebody comes across your short form content, it tells them that they're live and they can just one click into your live stream show. So we're always looking to, make our content better, and kind of see what our competitors are doing, what's working, what is viral right now, how we can take those viral moments, whether it's just in culture or in the actual industry, and combine that into content for ourselves. An example was like the Luigi Manchione case or something. We actually made a TikTok Pokemonified it, and it hit like 15 million views, and that converts into a lot of live stream viewers for us. So I think just always keeping an eye on what the content is and what's trending out there, and then inserting your brand into those trends.
Yeah, I think collecting, this might sound a little, off, but we're trying to collect good talent and develop good talent. We're always looking for people who can connect with our audience and across the generational lines, because shoppers are everywhere. They're every age, they're every size, they're every shape. So it's, we're always trying to collect good talent, which is tough to do. For all of you brands sitting out there, when you got to do a live shopping, you're going to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're like, who am I going to put on? That's the key. I mean, you and I can only go on live. All of us can only go live so long. So I'm collecting really great talent, even if they're raw, meaning they're not experienced. I can teach people how to connect. What I can't teach is authenticity. So when I find somebody that's authentic and real, like all of you are sitting up here, I can just tell no wonder you're uber successful. I'm trying to collect those people and bring them into the fold and teach them how to lifestyle.
Yeah, that's like super important, because
Right?
a bad seller will ruin everything for your business. It will show through because people can tell. But one thing I'm consuming, I'm such a foodie, and these little TikTok shows, it always gets me at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night when I'm hungry. And they'll be like packaging the food. It'll be like Gushers, and I'll buy them. Like, they get me. They really do, yes. Or like just makeup. I'm like, dang, she looks good. I want that.
So you're eating your own dog food. You're watching a lot of it.
I'm applying the lip liner I bought while eating the Gushers.
Nice.
But yeah, and by doing that all the time and, being so active, I do constantly get new ideas. And, one thing I do want to talk to you. And I connected with you on LinkedIn. Anyways, but yeah, just like getting the inspo, seeing what's trending just by being on the shows constantly. And so I might be selling food soon, y'all, if I don't eat it
You're
all.
collabing with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
You came here to do some business, huh?
You like
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you all. Thank you all for being here, joining us. I know everyone's very busy. You got hours and hours and hours to be streaming, but you joined this crew here. Later tonight, it's probably gonna be popping down here too if you want to join us. So we'll be hanging out. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it and enjoy the rest of the night.
You see me, that attitude is so mean to me. Despite the fact you still feel for me, they say those acting so great to me. But do you really want honest? Decide to make you free. Tell me if you want an honest.
How talented are the wine and wait staff? Woo! I'm kidding. This was an incredible performance. I want to welcome Connor, a dear friend of mine. Connor launched a really incredible organization called the International Dance League a few months ago. When I saw them perform, I thought we have to find an unexpected way to bring this to my clients. So he did. Connor, thank you. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, so once again, let's give another round of applause. So I'm Connor, I'm the co-founder of the International Dance League, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about something I'm so passionate about, which is obviously dance. Dance is everywhere, right? Like you guys see flash mobs, halftime shows, TikTok challenges. Everywhere. Dance is culture, and a little known fact is that 26 million people participate in dance annually, which is actually the same number of people who play basketball. And I'm sure many of you guys here probably have kids in dance classes, or you go to dancing, or you have friends with kids in dance classes. And from the ages of 3 to 18, kids will spend on average 20 hours a week in the studio. They're really training just like any other sport. Yet, there's no pro league for them to graduate into. And so that's what we're building. So the idea is a pro dance league. You think about it like Formula One meets America's Best Dance Group. So it's a competition pro series where the best teams in the world operate as city-based franchises. And we just had our first event back in July, sold out, had over 100 million views in the first 10 days. So I'm really excited to announce that we're having our first inaugural season, which is starting this March. 6 events, 6 cities, 1 champion. And I'm really excited to see you guys all there.
All right, everybody. They can help make all the dreams come true with dance.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd love to welcome up some new friends. I think one huge theme of every single panel we have is going to be the world of TikTok. We just heard some of our incredible creator partners shout out PacSun. We have the CEO of PacSun, Brian Olsen, in the house. We have Emily Bromfield from Matte Cosmetics, and lip liners. And of course, we have our wonderful partner Dave from TikTok. Join us, Dave. Okay, maybe I can start off by asking you all a question of who you follow on TikTok. What drives you to TikTok? Dave, we'll put you on the spot first because you're an employee there.
Well, actually, Chef Talk is what brought me on to TikTok originally. I like to cook with my daughter, and thanks to Jack, she now wants to fly to Paris to taste a 20 € raspberry cookie, I believe.
Come on, Dad.
Pretty excited about that.
I mean, I'm in Mac, so I follow every single makeup artist you can imagine. And food. Actually, food gets me onto TikTok in a big way. Yeah.
Creators. My algorithm is full of pets and fashion, and I have a 10 and 13-year-olds, so everything relates to them as well.
I love it. My latest trend, this is hot off the presses, is mom talk. I'm actually expecting your algorithm changes, guys. It changes quickly. Now it's all about vitamins and prenatals and all that stuff. Anyway, let's talk about live shopping on TikTok because I think it's really gone from emerging to proven. You all represent some of the brands who are really pioneering in this space, and you have so much distribution already. Both of you have physical retail stores, you have robust e-commerce businesses, you have a lot of retail partners. Can you how did you first identify that TikTok was a serious opportunity for your brand to play, to learn, and to invest and build?
So in 2019, PacSun started thinking about TikTok. By 2021, we had 2 million followers organically on the platform. So for PacSun, it was really about meeting the consumer where they are and engaging with them in a meaningful way. And quickly, we learned that it was a lot more than a social media platform. It was truly evolving into an entertainment platform and beyond. And so in 2022, our team flew to San Jose to start building the back-end infrastructure with the TikTok team so that we could be early adopters of what would then be PacSun Shop. And I was just sharing a story backstage about being up in San Jose for our first live. And it took a lot of patience because I think people don't understand that it's not just like a quick switch that you turn on. We spent 2+ years building what is today a very important part of our revenue model. And so we really think about it as our brick and mortar stores, our digital reach, and then social commerce, of which TikTok really is the driving force. And so it is a long game for sure. And I think a lot of different evolutions and learnings over the time. There was just a commitment to know that customer behavior is changing, the way that they shop is changing, and that TikTok would be a really important piece of the go-forward strategy.
Yeah, that's incredible. And PacSun was an early adopter and one that is constantly cited in case studies as a brand who's breaking barriers, relating to Gen Z and doing it with such a mind to drive real business results. Emily, you mentioned that you follow a lot of makeup artists. What made you take that, jump for your brand onto TikTok?
I think beauty really lends itself to TikTok. I think that we all know in this room, even if you don't have TikTok shop, TikTok is a really powerful content tool and also a commercial driver, right? Without a shop, you can already reach thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of new followers you can in other channels. Typically, we're a 41-year-old makeup brand. People call us heritage. We think we're punk and young. But for us to reach that younger consumer, we're not reaching in other channels is critical, right? So TikTok without TikTok Shop is so powerful. Beauty lends itself so well to the reality channel that is TikTok. Is a content channel. We've heard about it before. You see a lipstick, you want it. With TikTok Shop, you can buy it and get it very, very quickly. It is visual, very highly visual transformation, very clear, distinct before afters. Matte really lends itself to that. We have every single shade of every single product you can ever imagine. So for us, pairing that, which is powerful content for a brand and for a consumer, with TikTok Shop, which is frictionless, one-click purchasing, is powerful, right? You layer on live on top of that, and then it's the next level. It's like unfiltered, unedited, real reality content that you can actually interact. It's like nothing replicates TikTok can make an introduction in a few seconds. So it's just very, very powerful, and it's why makeup and beauty is the fastest growing.
You got it.
Okay, from your perspective, Dave, your phone must be, your emails must be bouncing off the walls, just brands knocking down your door of how to practice, how to figure it out. How are you advising brands to lean into both TikTok as a platform and the sort of live shopping and shop capabilities?
Yeah, this is such a good question. I would echo many of the great points that have already been brought up earlier today. So for example, authenticity, absolutely essential, right? TikTok is a place where people come to build culture and discover community, and all of that happens because of that authenticity. People put up the content that they really care about, stuff that they believe in, and you end up with these situations where real people that you trust are talking about products that they value in their lives. And that's the kind of thing that you really can't just pay for, but you can take advantage of on the platform because your brand is already part of the conversation where you can put it in the hands of your creator and influencer community. So when we're talking about the advice that you would want, I would say patience is an important thing. You got to get started on the platform. One of the ways that you would do that is just to begin to sell at all. So if you have a TikTok shop up and running, we have a product called GMV Max. Probably don't need to explain gross merchandise value to this crowd, but what that will do is effectively automate the entirety of your sales operations and marketing process. It will take your entire product catalog. It'll take every creative asset you have. It will leverage your affiliate model. It will leverage your creator community, and it will drive that ad campaign to anyone who's interested. And it lets the platform take advantage of all of the signals to drive that. From there, you have a baseline of people conducting commerce on the platform, and you are well set up to start to invest in live as a complement to that. And when you start thinking about live, this is where it gets really challenging. There are opportunities to really leverage the audience that already exists. So if you think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, last year we had nearly 500,000 live sessions. We had over 650,000 hours of live content were streamed across the platform. We expect it to be bigger this year. If you think about that, that's an opportunity to participate in the shopping behavior that's already organically happening on the platform. The other thing you can do is you can build your audience where, I think we're going to get better advice than what I'll offer you right now. But, one of the things you want to think about is how do you get the stream going? We heard about flash sales earlier. That's a great way to build your audience. People engage very deeply with that content that will join the stream and give it some momentum.
Incredible advice. Okay, and a huge part of all this is the person who's actually, when we talk about live, the person who's actually doing that. You're in the world of PacSun and Mac, you both have actual physical stores where people are advising, hey, you should buy this, you should think about this. How do you all select those creators or hosts to represent your brands?
It's like a wide range of different creators to represent the brand. And ultimately, our biggest success, to be honest, was someone that had just gained 5,000 followers, had just qualified for the Open Creator platform in 2023. It was late November, and she posted her first kind of video of wearing these low-rise jeans she just picked up in the store in her bedroom. And flash forward to Black Friday, all of our inventory had sold out online. So she sold 11,000 pairs of jeans.
She had 5,000 followers and sold 11,000 pairs of jeans.
Yeah, which is really important because the algorithm matters. So first of all, the brand being brave enough to say, hey, we believe in the Open Creator platform, so we welcome everyone who wants to be a part of our brand story and who wants to go ahead and pick up a sample and endorse the product. But it created then a halo. We sold over 200,000 pairs of that jean on TikTok. And then we sold 500,000 pairs of that jean in stores. And we actually couldn't find where the inventory saturation point was going to catch up because we kept restocking the jean. And it's all thanks to Lila Biggs, who is just, an incredible fan of the brand. This was, a part of the Open Creator platform, which I'm such an advocate for because it's also fueling the creator economy and giving opportunities and ways for the youth to be able to create jobs and make revenue and support the brands that they are authentically connected to. So it's not a small sign, that jean selling, we will now sell 1 million pairs of jeans on TikTok Shop alone by the end of this calendar year. So it's a really meaningful part of our overall matrix of not only for TikTok Shop, but creating this overall incredible halo that so many kids are rushing to stores looking for the viral TikTok jeans. So that's a small example of how the Open Creator Platform has been incredibly instrumental for us.
That's just an incredible story. Give it up for bringing that story.
Give it up for
And also a friend of Vayner's, by the way. And I think many brands misunderstand that because they think I have to work with a creator who has X million, who's this famous, etc. If you're nodding along, because you probably do a lot of objection handling on this and education of the way that TikTok works is when it goes, it can really go. Can you maybe share a few things that stand out to you of those magic moments that only TikTok can create?
Yeah, there are a couple that really jump to mind. One is being able to capitalize on the culture of the moment. So what is trending? Is your business in a position to move fast enough to take advantage of that? In the old days, you might go into the studio and generate a script and allocate a budget and go through an approval process and try to get a commercial made and still have it air in time to be relevant to whatever the news of the day or the moment was. We have a platform called Symphony, which is about generative AI. It will do all of that for you. Right? Like you can write in a text prompt, it'll give you a script, you can do text to video, amazing tool, you can get live immediately. We also have TikTok One, which you refer to, and we have a creator ecosystem that is willing and engaged and excited to build content, and in fact is already building content that's relevant to the moment that matters. And as a result of being on the platform, you can take advantage of that and transform some of those organic content pieces into your advertisements that will drive additional engagement. And even if you don't use it for ads, the organic engagement will help you build an audience for future moments like that. So I think there are a lot of ways in which you can be really, really successful just by being present and moving as nimbly as possible. Live is a challenging thing. It's at the speed of live. And as a result of that, you need some of that prep work and you need to streamline your business to be able to handle those moments when they arise.
Yeah, and Emily, as more of a prestige punk brand, tell me how you all think about your creator selection. Mac is renowned for your inclusivity and the wide-reaching demographics that you can are always standing up for. Talk to us a little bit about how you think of those affiliates and creators who are representing Mac on things like TikTok shops.
I think for us, it's, yes, also I have to caveat, we've been in North America on TikTok Shop for just over 3 months. So
that's why you're a perfect contrast to Brie.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're learning and experimenting. I think for a big brand like ours, and I'm sure other people in the audience can relate as well, it's about loosening up, what your definition is of your influencer or your creator partner. I think TikTok Shop as a channel, there are some incredible creators who are so genius, and we've heard from lots of them, so genius in selling and talking directly to the consumer. That's a whole new world for us. We're discovering them, they're discovering us. And actually, we can quite arrogantly think that everyone in the world knows Mac. They don't, actually. There's low awareness with that younger consumer. So we're learning a lot from these creators too. So yes, we have to keep an open mind. Our blueprint is all ages, all genders, all races. That is fundamental to us. I think another really exciting, interesting area is this sort of omni-channel approach to live selling and to social selling. So as you said, we've had hundreds of freestanding stores. We have very powerful retailers, department stores, SMC, our own brand.com. So how that also fits into our wider ecosystem is also really critical for us. We have 12,000 of our own internal makeup artists. They are, looking into utilizing the freestanding store as a digital selling space, utilizing our incredibly talented, unbelievable makeup artists that in their own right, really incredible creators, and translating that into a TikTok shop live, etc. That's a really interesting area for us to explore too.
That's fascinating. So Dave, can you think a little bit about the, how TikTok is so unique in driving that cultural commerce? You mentioned a bit about some of the product features that exists,
Any brands that stand out to you, besides these two, of course, who are really leaning into this and maximizing it and driving that cultural conversation in unexpected ways?
Yeah, there are a few. One of the ones that I would highlight is probably Ray-Ban. So Ray-Ban has used our Smart Plus solution. This is the way in which we take a product catalog and sell everything that's available inside of it. It's very similar to what I was describing for GMV Max, but the difference is rather than drive to a TikTok shop, we will drive the user to an omni-channel experience. We can drive you to a website to make a purchase, into an app, we can generate a lead, we can drive traffic to your website, etc. What they saw when they switched over to this solution was actually about a 50% improvement in their cost per acquisition because of the ability to just market the entire catalog and drive streamlined results. So better than 40% improvements in conversions and things like return on ad spend, very, very strong results. And I think the key that gets I think the key that gets recognized in this is that the user is now in charge of how they want to shop. If they want to buy right away while they're watching a video, we shouldn't make that harder. They should have one click to purchase and be done. If they prefer to go into the store and physically touch the item, great, we'll tell you where to go. We'd love for you to do that. If you're a researcher like me and you want to do way too much investigation on a product before you purchase it, then maybe buying it on the website is the right solution. The way we think about it at TikTok is we want to build the tools that give you the ability to drive people wherever they want to go to make that transaction. And we think that live is an important component of that.
Awesome. Yeah, for you, your brand has such a pulse with Gen Z. How does live commerce fit into that? Because you have the stores, people go in there in person, they're asking for the viral TikTok genes. How do you all use TikTok and live shopping as a way to connect to Gen Z beyond the physical?
So with Paxton, we started live shopping back in 2019 through Van Duzer in our Soho store with the ASAP Rocky drop.
It was physical. You shot it at the store,
right? We shot
right?
it at the store, and we've seen tremendous success with our lives now today with TikTok in our stores, with our store associates, giving them a real view, whether it's unboxings, but they're really looking for that authentic, genuine connection. And so, that I would say is a really important component. And I think, the evolution of live, we've seen tremendous success, for example, during Super Brand Days, when you have the complimentary live plus all of the other suite happening at the same time. So it really does require the organic reach and following, the organic engagement, the open platform, leveraging the suite of tools that TikTok gives to us to really see the overall momentum that you're looking for.
And Dave, you unpack Super Brand Days for this audience, the uninitiated.
I'm actually probably not the right person to do that. And I will connect it to another theme, though, if that's okay. Earlier in this conversation, we heard about Asia being a leader in live shopping. I'll double down on that comment. You can absolutely see the future by looking at some of the patterns in Asia. And one of the things that they do really, really well is promote double days. So January 1st, February 2nd, March 3rd.
11/11 is the biggest one.
There you go. Massive sales going on. And you also train your customer base when to expect to see some of your specials, and you get repeat buying behavior you wouldn't normally see. So one of the things that's really interesting is, at least for our TikTok Shops product, people that are active shoppers, at least half of them are buying once a month, which is really exciting. It's a kind of frequency of consumer engagement you don't often get.
Yeah, and I think Super Brand Days, because we've seen this across so many different verticals, you might think, hey, I'm not in a category that sells jeans or lip liners, but it's really across consumer electronics, it's across health, it's across beauty, it's across so many different categories. Super Brand Days are really important as a way to create a shopping occasion, create that urgency, and create the right offer that really stands out on a place like TikTok Shops, because you do the same price and promotion everywhere, it just won't work. It has to be something that feels unique and special. And Emily, I know you all are doing a lot of sort of custom made for TikTok content. It's been a few months, but what are your early learnings?
Well, we like to think of ourselves as a culture brand, not as a makeup brand. We're social first, and we're fortunate. We have very high brand love and very high EMV.
I love your brands.
Thank you so much. So do I. I love your brand. And the focus for us is how to convert EMV into GMV. Right? This is why TikTok Shop is interesting to all of us. I would say we have, yes, it's 3 months on the North America TikTok Shop. many more, like few years actually of doing it. So in China we have more experience. I would say in those last 3 months we've done lots of big brand moments. For us, that idea of converting virality and campaigns that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, to be able to show direct results from that is exciting. So for example, in the last 3 months, we have gone live with Doja Cat. So Doja Cat 8, not an actual physical.
Who could have possibly missed that moment? But please explain it.
So Doja Cat, we unveiled the launch of Doja Cat as our new global ambassador of MAC, which is so exciting for us in so many ways. She ate a MAC lipstick on the VMA red carpet. It wasn't, DJ really wants me to tell you, it wasn't a real MAC lipstick. It was a collaboration actually with Amaury Guichon, who's also TikTok native, incredible chocolatier, also with his own huge following. That moment normally becomes hugely viral in the press, everywhere. Everyone talks about it. And then viral moments can go as quickly as they come. With TikTok Shop, because it's the speed that we love as well, you can, same next day, create a virtual bundle with that lipstick shade, it was Lady Danger, in case you're wondering, and a lip liner. Get that on your shop, you can seed it to thousands of creators, and you can extend that into direct conversion, and you can extend it into a proper internet moment that lives on. That's what's really exciting for us.
I mean, Mac with the bangers, with Doja Cat, with Kris Jenner and that giant Studio FX, that was too good. Okay, so we have many brands in this audience who I know and love too, and they're curious and they're interested in how to get started, if they should get started. I'm wondering if you could each give them a tip, a piece of advice of something that you wish you knew before you got into your live shopping journey.
I think really it's to focus on your community and prioritize co-creation as the model for go forward. I think culture as an operating strategy as you look at your own business or your brand is really important. And it's important to also leverage the amazing intel that the TikTok team has. I think building an incredibly strong relationship with TikTok over the last 5 years has led us to more unique opportunities. So take advantage of that as well.
I think for us, again, it's early. I think lean into the reality that is TikTok. I think consumers love TikTok because it's unedited, it's real, lo-fi content. That's what really works. They want to see real users, real consumers using it. I think with live, for a brand like ourselves, and I'm sure many of you, it's like loosen up and lean in. It's it's not scripted, it's not polished, and actually, because of that and all of those reasons and more, it's more successful than a very crafted video that you could have shot in a studio. Like lean in and accept that if you're not making thousands of mistakes, this is actually something you said on a call when we were prepping. Like if you haven't made 1,000 mistakes within your first 3 months, so you're not trying something new. And I really love that sentiment. I think that's really how we need to approach going forward on TikTok Shop.
I'm going to cheat and give you 2, if that's okay. If you're a new business, I would say very much embrace the test and learn mentality. Open your TikTok shop, drive some organic sales through it, see what happens, make sure your logistics are figured out and mechanics of your business are set up for the success you're likely to see, because we're in the force you to sell out your inventory business for the most part.
We're in a million jeans sold.
Exactly, $2 million. We had a stat from last Black Friday. There was one stream that did $2 million like on that stream line, which is pretty incredible. The second thing I would say is this week we actually announced some enhancements to our products, especially around Smart Plus, where you will get better creative level insights on what is working with your audience and what is driving the sales. Those insights can power your live stream. Like figure out which creative is resonating with your audience by running those ads. Leverage that knowledge to drive to the creator ecosystem that's going to help you be successful. Use the same themes around that creative, and you'll see your live streams take off much faster.
Great, give it up for our wonderful panelists. And I want to say one last thing. I think we often think that this is something that, a couple of dudes and Tyler are doing in like their basement at 11:30 p.m. This are CEOs, executives of companies know how big of a deal this is. These business leaders know the power and the force of live social shopping, the power and the force of TikTok. So I would encourage us all to take this very, very seriously. Let's get up for them.
Thank you.
All right, next up. Okay, next up, we're gonna have Adam Ritz, lead our next panel.
Yeah, Rick.
Hearts and
Hearts and hands going out to everyone. Some collectibles going down. We're going to bring our next three panelists come on and we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk about specifically live streaming with collectibles on VaynerX Live. So welcome Chris, Andrew, and Scott to the stage. Come on out. I'm giving out packs. Everyone be honest and pass them around. Pass some packs to me. Pass some packs to me. You take a look. Pass it back. Pass it back.
Take one for me, buddy. Now that's called instant riff right there. That's an instant riff.
All right, welcome everyone to the VaynerX Live Shopping Summit panel. Specifically as it relates to collecting cards, a huge category, and a really genuine one for a lot of us. Scott here actually hosted the first ever VaynerX Live show.
Yes, indeed.
I was very early on it.
All-Star Game, Seattle, July 2023, on the field.
Receipts. And Chris, so deeply in it. So I'll start with you, Chris, and go down the line. Please introduce yourself, tell me who you are.
Yeah, hey everybody. Yeah, I'm Chris Montana, I'm president of VaynerX. And we built the VaynerX Live platform first, so live shopping platform. And I run VaynerX Direct as well, so I'll have the two live platforms in the Great to meet you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Andrew Ridley, co-founder and CEO at Swish Breaks. We're one of the largest live shopping companies in the U.S. We have 8 live shopping channels. Have done over 90,000 orders per month, 1.5 million orders since inception, $175 million in sales in the last 3 years, and we're excited to be here.
Follow that one.
I'm Scott Rogowski, and I'm clearly in the wrong business. I was the host of a game show called HQ Trivia about 7-8 years ago, and I'm going to be the host of a new show called Savvy, premiering on Thursday. You can download the app now, Savvy, iOS only.
Amazing. So Chris, you're on the VaynerX Live founding team. VaynerX obviously is such a bigger entity than just live, but you've decided about a couple of years ago, you can tell the story of it, but a couple of years ago you said we're going all in on live. How did that come to be, and what does all in really mean?
Yeah, I think we're fortunate to thinking about the people in the room. We are the platform, technology, but we're also the brand. We own Tops, so we are a manufacturer. But we also recognized, and we kind of stood back probably 4 or 5 years ago and understood that live commerce was really starting to have its moment. So I think the perennial question with live was always, how do we, you look east and thought, why doesn't the West behave the same way as Asia and China? We thought the collectibles category, we actually saw very, very early signs that it was behaving that way. And Fanatics, we made this bet to build our own platform, which we can talk more about. We built our own technology, our own app. We partnered with breakers, sales on the platform. Well, for us, it's a big strategic decision. It wasn't kind of like a flash in the pan idea. It was a decision that we really see live shopping over the next probably 10, 20 years as a category that's only going to grow. So we started the platform, had incredible success. We made a couple of decisions early on. I'd say probably the first one was we gated the platform. So we gave the number of sellers on the platform. We're very selective with that. And then we've really stayed very, very true to the collectibles category, to the cards category. We think there's real benefit there to staying narrow, but going very, very deep. And for us, it's been a strategy that's really, really paid off.
Oh no, selective you are, you're not me.
That's true. Andrew, he mentioned starting a brand new app with new technology, and you're owner of Swish Breaks, which has been around for much longer than the live shopping boom really has been. How has Live and VaynerX Live shaped the way that you run your business?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. And, what's interesting is, a lot of new faces in the room, which is amazing. We've been in the live space since, really 2020. And when you think like early days live shopping, it was all Instagram, right? So this was pre-platform creation. We were processing orders manually. Payments were coming via Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. We were taking crypto. We didn't know, essentially like how big you can really scale something up when you put automation behind a lot of the things that the platforms have then created, right? So we were really early days live shopping. And when you look at the business in its current state, there is no possible way we would be able to do the amount of volume that we do and the amount of sales that we do without partners like VaynerX that have the infrastructure for us to go out there and do what we do best, which is entertain on the live shopping front and also sell product and commerce. So it's changed the business completely and allowed us to scale drastically over the last 3 years.
You mentioned entertainment, and actually after this table's set up because Gary is going to be hosting a VaynerX live stream, our fastest ever live stream for 10 minutes right here to watch you all, to allow you all to watch how it goes down. And I should have mentioned myself, I do a lot of the VaynerX collectibles and live streaming with the VaynerX team, which is Gary's Pokemon meets Sesame Street universe that's about 5 years old now. So we're going to do a live demo right here after this. But he talks a lot about commerce statement, which is this combination of commerce and entertainment. That this is not the same as online shopping where you have to go to a website and scroll and browse. This is instantaneous, it's entertainment. And I want to direct this to you, Scott, because you have a background in entertainment even before shopping was a part of it. Allegedly. All my middle school parties shut down to play your trivia game. I remember it.
Middle school.
Middle high school. But how are you seeing?
How am I getting to 5 years old? How am I feeling that way?
That was not the intent. The intent was to shine a spotlight and ask you how you're seeing creators really play into the live shopping and bringing the entertainment into the commerce.
Well, I think it was mentioned earlier on one of the panels, but the whole thing comes down to who is on camera doing your selling. And, listen, what's beautiful about people is that there are lots of different kinds of people. Different people respond to different other kinds of people. That's how hosts find their audiences, brands find their audiences. What I like to do is just stay true to myself. And I think the best way to be a live seller, and you didn't quite asked me this question yet, but I'll give it to you early here. I think coming from your true self is the best way to connect with an audience. And, I started doing live selling in 2019 on Instagram, doing exactly what you're describing, Andrew. PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, it was crazy. I mean, but it was fun. Like I liked packaging I was selling vintage t-shirts, my big vintage clothing business. Well, there's a collection that I tried to turn into a business, but it started from 20 years of just collecting being pure hobbies. And I think it's only because I had that 20 years of collecting experience and passion and love for this that I was able to sell t-shirts for $50 that I bought for $1 at the Salvation Army. That was my authentic self coming through and telling the stories about my collection and connecting with people. So, I think it really is everything. Is the person on? The brand, the product. Sometimes it's that exceptional can speak for itself and sell for itself. But when you're trying to, push vintage clothing, which is very specific, collectibles, especially the collectible space, which has a story behind it, a connection, emotion. Baseball cards, you're talking to nostalgia, parents, collecting with parents. You're speaking something very real and human, and you need a real human to sell it.
And I think it's so interesting, especially with Gary, because you're talking about human being genuine, that's what he is. But a lot of people in this room who probably have thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, other platforms. And I think for us at VaynerX, and obviously with all of you, you started 0 followers on a new platform, right? And so the challenge for us and the excitement for us then became, how do we create content and how do we build an audience that translates to live, right? Because on VaynerX Live, we may now have 1,000 people who tune in when we host a show and 20,000 followers. That did start at 0, and it's about now, as a creator, as a brand, you do have the audience. You now have to just build them onto a different platform, and hopefully, and what we believe is for just the long-term success of it. So, Chris, how are you seeing?
Well, I think so. Rich is like, there was this maybe common mistake that we've seen, particularly with a lot of creators kind of coming into live shopping space, where we've come from a world of like the 15 minutes of fame. I think what we found was actually it was more like 15,000 hours of fame, where there was an hour kind of a real start, that feeling of starting at zero. I think is a daunting feeling, and moving your audience and your followers to any platform, I think, is always daunting. What we found very, very unique to the platform, the most successful breakers, the most successful creators on our platform, very quickly got into that mindset of how to be able to ship them. You can tell me, Andrew, right? That was kind of your approach as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's spot on, right? When you look at the business as a whole, it's, how can you scale talent out but do it the right way, and maintain like that entertainment factor, but also while understanding, right? Going to a new platform, you are starting at zero. I heard other people earlier today, right? We stream 20 hours a day, 7 days a week across multiple channels. The consistency in the live shopping game is what wins.
How many breakers do you guys have?
We have 34 full-time streamers on our team. So, one of the biggest questions too is like, how do you scale out that talent? I think culture is the first thing, right? Making sure that everybody from top down stays online with brand, and at the same time, it is a consistency game. If you're on, these platforms and working hard, putting out the right product with the right talent, the multiplier effect comes into scale. We started, on VaynerX Live also similarly with zero, to tens of thousands of followers in a short period of time, doing tons of orders and a lot of sales. So it's exactly it.
I do think there is something that we're interested about followers. And one that, like, some of the metrics that we look on the platform is actually so much more interested in chat and like the engagement levels in chat. And particularly with live shopping, what we've seen is on average about 65 to 70% of the audience who are watching are typically engaged in chat, which the common denominator of like views and followers, I think just maybe tweaking down the funnel a little bit further and figuring out, and this, I call this out because Scott is probably one of the leading experts at this, of like, how do you talk to a camera but engage people so much that they want to answer back and be able to have dialogue. And I just think that lower down the funnel engagement piece has been, that's been certainly as a platform what we observe.
I thought you said the perfect example of someone who like doesn't have enough followers on paper, but is actually good at what he does, so we hire him anyway. And for that, I honestly appreciate you and working with VaynerX Live and anybody who chooses to work with me, because there is something that I've noticed as a creator, that some people have the followers, they have the hype, they have the aura, they have the riz, whatever the hell it is that connects with people. But you put them on camera, live, in a live environment, trying to keep up the energy for even 5-10 minutes, let alone an hour, 2 hours. I mean, I want to ask you,
1,000%.
are there people that you bring on and as breakers who just can't hack it?
For sure. When we talk early days too, I got a few of the guys in the back here too. We were the ones streaming all hours of the day. The entertainment level is number one, most important, but B, it's, how do you hack it? You can't hack it. It's very difficult, and it is grueling, right? Like, to be on a live stream for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours straight, you gotta have that energy, you gotta have that entertainment, and it's definitely something you definitely cannot have.
And it takes the reps, and it takes 15,000 hours.
1,000%.
It's amazing that there are people now getting that type of experience, but, I started HQ in 2017, and, people think that was an overnight success, but I've done 12 years of stand-up and comedy and writing and performing, all sorts of things. So it was an overnight success that took 12 years. But now, even the live stream reps I got in HQ is what allowed me to so seamlessly fit into the VaynerX Live and the live selling environment, because I had those 500 shows on my belt.
Absolutely. And I feel like, as someone who gets to host with Gary, you really get to learn from your audience very quickly. You learn what works, what doesn't, what to keep leaning into. And one of my many, many, many vivid memories sitting next to Gary live is I think I gave someone a hyperlink and Gary shouted at me for causing friction. I'm driving them off the platform. It happens quite a bit. And I think what VaynerX Live is doing so well is reducing friction for a user, not only on VaynerX Live, but VaynerX Collect. So Chris, maybe I'd love if you can dive more into how VaynerX Live is doubling down with both and what reducing friction means in this collector's space, where I feel like so many people want to get in, but not everyone knows where to start.
Look, I think with collecting, what we looked at when we first looked at this business, it's still quite an analog industry. And if you want to validate that, go to a card convention. You can see there's a lot of cash, there's a lot of carrying cases of cards, selling cards. There's a ton of shipping involved, shipping cards all over the country, back and forth. So what we made a very, I suppose, a very deliberate decision of actually how could we build a more verticalized stack. So we built a vault as an example. So we have a vault where if you buy a card, you can ship it directly to the vault. The card can stay in the vault. We've built something which we might see called instant grips, which is the ability to digitally open cards, and the cards not actually have to be shipped across the country.
Which we'll demo in just a few minutes.
So you guys will see that, but also down to things like, I know it was talked about in one of the earlier panels, things like gamification. I actually think behind gamification though, there's a really important thing, which is trust. And maybe it doesn't get talked about, and I think it's one of the less sexy conversations about live shopping, but trust and how you build a trusted platform. So things like vetting breakers, things like vetting supply chain, all of that kind of maybe infrastructure stuff, that's what we really spent a ton of time on in the beginning. So, when we think about live and collect and how those two things together, it is the connective tissue of everything it means to be a collector. And how do we get better at just making that very, very seamless, from everything from discover and buy, manage your collection, and also trade. One of the really fascinating parts when you think about the collectible space is you're not just a consumer. You don't just buy stuff. You can also sell stuff as well. So we call it the collector loop, where we see people who are trying to buy things, but actually we also want to encourage them to sell as well.
And Andrew, you talked about the scale that you've reached. I think was it 90,000 shipments per month?
Correct.
90,000 shipments a month. How are you balancing? I guess it applies not only to the team and the operation that you're building, but also the live operation. Going deep with your current community, but also scaling at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question. I think the first thing, and it actually comes down to trust in essence as well, right? When you start a brand from zero, especially in the collectible space, trust is first and foremost, right? From a customer success standpoint, obviously we're human, we're growing, we're learning processes. Being forward facing with your community and letting them know that A, we are human, B, we will always make it right. That's the most important thing that we can say as we scaled out. And to get to the level of 90,000 orders a month, it sounds daunting. But when you really take the fundamental processes underneath the surface, when you get your systems down early, it allows you to scale and build on top of them as long as they're built out correctly from day one. So it's been something that we've been critically focused on from the inception of our business. And obviously the platforms and working with Fanatics allow us to do that on massive scale.
Andrew, how much are you tipping your mailman at Christmas?
It's funny, if you saw the security footage at about 5 p.m., they sent two guys up with these huge bins. We're on the 29th floor of a commercial building, so it's probably not the best recipe for logistical success, but we definitely send that a lot.
Nice tip coming their way.
And on VaynerX Live, we've seen a lot, because you work so closely with all these different sports leagues, not only being the platform, but also working with so many of the other outlets that Fanatics has. I think not only for creators who are here, or I'd love to say for both creators who are here, or for brands who work with creators, and also how Fanatics Live has been able to bridge it with athletes. How are some of the shows that use the athletes, the creators, differentiating from the ones that don't?
Look, ultimately, we want to create never been seen before moments. So Scott mentioned when we launched live, we launched it on the field. We've done some crazy shows. But we actively want to work with creators and brands and do things that haven't been done before using the Fanatics network. We obviously had Fanatics Fest this year in New York. Well, actively, we are looking to get to work with creators. We've got a couple of guys here, Hunter and Matt. If you're around, maybe put your hands up, because we're looking actively to be able to put creators and brand shows together. Again, our idea is we've got this incredible IP. We've got access to sports leagues. We've got access to creating these pretty special moments. So that's a big factor for us.
Yeah, I mean, how many platforms can mention that they're their co-collaborator, their creators are Allen Iverson, Tom Brady. You know, the athletes themselves are the influencers, are the creators, are, you know, we've gone live on the field at Albert Pools. Like the fact that we can do that, VaynerX Live can do that is pretty special.
For sure. I'll echo one thing there too. And, you know, in working with these creators and athletes that Fanatics partners us up with, that's where you reach, you know, additional scale and additional eyeballs, and talking about how do you continue to grow that following further, partnering with the right athletes, influencers, streamers. We were just at the offices a few weeks back with Neon, co-streaming on Twitch with tens of thousands of viewers, all in a live multicast chat, right? Driving to the platform, driving our audience, driving Fanatics Live. So a lot of that plays into fact in growing your following and your audience as well.
Yeah, something that we do a lot too, where Gary will email our VFriends email list, or Gary will text his community and actually drive the people, go live on Instagram and drive the people to Fanatics Live as he's actually streaming on the platform, which I just think is such a cool way and almost a guaranteed way to drive that FOMO elsewhere, drive them right to the platform. I think we're a few minutes away from Gary demoing alongside me and the VFriends team right here in these seats. But I want to ask you two, or you three rather, 2 years down the line, how do you think that live streaming, whether it's in your own niche, in the cards niche, or otherwise as a whole, how do you think it's changing over the next couple of years?
How do I see live streaming changing, live selling changing? You know, I think what's going to happen is, as anything, the space gets more competitive, more people start entering, and there's going to be a leveling up that has to happen, whether that's production quality, whether that's talent. You know, maybe there's some places, some brands who can afford to hire actors now to start, you know, acting. Imagine if you had, you know, Chris Pratt breaking for a year. I mean, this is where I think this all ultimately ends, where you have the traditional legacy celebrities who are joining on with some of these live selling brands. You see Kim Kardashian in bigger areas of commerce, but with collectibles specifically, having the athletes doing more streaming and then upping the gamification level. That's something that I've always strived to do with my streams. One of the most favorite streams I ever did on Fanatics Live was the 25th anniversary of the 1998 Yankees World Series team. I created this break where you can buy into boxes featuring rookie cards of all the great 98 Yankees. So, of course, 93 tops for Jeter, 1994 Bowman, and Bowman's best for Georgie Posada, Mariano Rivera, 92 Bowman. You know, we had like David Cohn at 87, Donruss, David Wells at 86, like all these boxes together, right? And you could chase the cards of the great Yankees, and if you hit all the core four, you get a signed baseball by 98 Yankees that I kind of sourced and offered up as a prize. So I created this gamification, prizes, game show, chases, and that was a super engaging show. And those types of shows, I think we're going to see more and more of.
To echo that, really, I think underneath the surface, it's captivating attention, and it's fun. If you can captivate attention and eyeballs, you can then sell product through it via a live shopping vehicle. You know, for us and where we're looking at the space over the next 2 years is, you know, how can we continue to level up our game internally to then bring our entertainment to a different level, to drive more people to the stream, to then in turn sell more product, right? So attention is, you know, that's like the commerce vehicle here. So we're super focused on that internally here. I think as far as the space goes into the future, right, you see a lot of more communities popping up. We're hyper-focused right now on collectibles and trading cards, but I do believe a lot of these other industries are coming, and they're coming very quickly, so we're excited for it.
I'll go super fast. First of all, I can't believe on 25 minutes and no one mentioned the Scott suit. Great. But very quick with a statistic. I think the most important stat will become average watch time, live shopping. Today, on Fanatics Live, average watch time is 68 minutes a day. That rivals Netflix, TikTok, you know, like in kind of consumption and usage. I obviously see that growing. And I genuinely believe it becomes a real competitor to being able to stand back and actually not just consume content, but also engage in content. So I would watch out for that statistic. That's what I think the future is.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much. Scott, you mentioned breaking with big actors. You mentioned bringing on big actors to break. And we have a big actor coming on next. I don't know if you saw the Tron trailer, but Gary is in Tron. So now I get to introduce him as an actor as well. So we're going to bring Gary in to do a live stream with us. You're gonna be able to watch it all go down. With some of the methods we learned over the last couple months. But thank you all for coming. Thank you to the three panelists.
Thank you, guys.
Gary Vayner.
What's up, everyone?
Let's go.
Hey, everybody, just, if I just may. Nick Trent. Just want to thank all of you for spending your day here. Obviously, a lot of familiar faces that I adore so much. And I just want to take this moment, knowing I might not see the looks of you or some of you that I'm looking at right now for the rest of the year. So I wish you a happy holiday and a great New Year's. It's probably me in my 2026 spring right now, knowing there's a couple weeks. But I just do want to say this. One of the, in a week I turned 50, which is insanity. And one of the cool things about that is you've lived a little bit of life. This is I really am glad you're all here. This is a very important conversation. Like over the last 30 years of my career, there's probably been 4 to 5 meaningful, seismic, substantial consumer shifts, whether it was the internet itself or search or Amazon, whatever it is, social, obviously. Again, there's some people here that work globally. There's some people here that are interested in this subject matter. I'd like to think people know this, but this industry of live social shopping is a $500 billion industry in China and growing rapidly. This is, for many of you in this room, pivoting your career, adding on to your resume, or starting your own entrepreneurial venture outside of the corporate job you have. This is very, very big stakes. This is going to have massive financial impact. When you think about the VaynerX number, you heard about 60 minutes, like on time. Like, to give you context, we are doing shows with BeFriends, and I'm aware of my platform, and I'm aware of all that. But just to give you context, there's shows when I go on from 9 to 11 at night on VaynerX or TikTok or whatnot, where we're selling $150,000 in comic books and trading cards in 2 hours. These are not small numbers, and I will tell you that the financial opportunity for entrepreneurs all the way to Fortune 50 companies is substantial. So please don't do the cliche thing and spend a day like this and get educated or inspired or curious and then do absolutely nothing about it, only to regret it 3 years later when this is dominant. You're like, fuck, why did I do anything when I went to that event back in October of 25? This is a very big deal. This is not, we think this is gonna happen. This happened. This happened. There's multi-billion dollars worth of GMV in apps in this platform that people don't even know exist yet. So please squeeze this and navigate and act on this motivation. I'm about to sell some stuff on VaynerX Live, so thank you for being here and watching me do it. I'm gonna be out for a few minutes. How are we doing? You guys ready? Ish? You guys look nervous. What's that? 3 minutes? I'll just keep talking then. But a couple things. For the people that are B2B in here or B2C products that they don't think would over-index well in this environment, one thing I want to shout out that I'm incredibly bullish on, I'll just pick something random. If you're literally a B2B SaaS company that is building a SaaS company for, let's say, youth creators and you want to have cultural relevance, being a B2B SaaS company that can go out to a Kith or a Mad Happy or a Nude Project and do a collaboration physical hoodie or hat to then sell on social live shopping as a relevance branding mechanism is like a good way to think. Right, so this is not just, like, there's a lot of ways to go here. And another thesis that's parallel to this for us in VaynerLand is that collecting is about to join fashion, sports, food, travel as a meaningful cultural lifestyle genre. The Labubu of it all, the trading cards of it all, the watches, the sneakers. I don't think it's lost on anyone here. Collecting is a human trait. There were cavemans walking on this land right here, picking up a rock and trading it trillions of years ago. We believe that collecting as a marketing and business driver is very real. And there's a lot of ways to intertwine that into the mundane of toothpaste and a t-shirt and a cement company. I'm not kidding when I say things like that. And so the biggest opportunities are the ones that are not the clearest, but have already happened. Collecting has already joined those other things as lifestyle things based on the economics. It's black and it's there. It might not have hit your radar. And in parallel with live shopping, it's real. And I know we started the day with QVC. I don't think people comprehend how much product was bought on QVC today, on television, in remote control. Like, these are big, big, big economics. And so please double click into it. And now I'm gonna try to sell some stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Also, Avery, is this correct? Like, as soon as I'm done, every single person must leave this premise immediately through the back stairs because the elevator will get clogged. Is that true?
The stairs right there.
Like right here, right?
Yes.
So
Follow
we-
a Vayner employee upstairs for drinks.
All right, so everybody, we're gonna leave this premise pretty quickly. I'm incredibly concerned looking at all your faces right now. But we'll get to that in a minute, but thank you for being here. Hold this. This is how the sausage gets made. See it anywhere? Yeah. All right, we're live. All right, by the way, we're actually live, so I need you to shh. Thank you. Oh, there, that's the camera.
Welcome to Flatters Club. We are live and there's a lot of people watching, both physically and virtually, but the physical feels more scary than the virtual.
All right. Look, we put this is all bubble gum and tape. We're just putting this together. We just did a live social show. For some reason, teacher, like the moon guy, I'm confused why they snuck in. But there's people here from the community. There's a bunch of people from VaynerLand. We're live here on VaynerX Live, and I know you've all been waiting for this. The notorious ninja hat will be sold in this show. Get ready, Rips. Are you excited?
Born ready, born excited. They don't wear hats, but they're gonna fly. They're gonna fly. They're made only for Comic-Con, but we do the live streaming to give people an exclusive look and the first chance to buy your own hats.
So obviously, a lot of you are going to see us at the Javits Center starting tomorrow, Thursday through Sunday at Comic-Con. We have a ton of exclusives. We can't wait to see all the new friends in the community. On this quick show, we did this show to be able to show a lot of the members at this conference how we do it, but also Rips just did an entire panel and he insulted people by telling them that he was in junior high when they were still in the middle of their career. He was inspiring.
He was relevant to everyone at the same time.
All right, what are we
275 people in the room.
Okay, we are going to sell. What do you want to sell? Like, what are we breaking down here? Obviously, they know about the Topps Chrome and all that that's been out, but the two key things I think for this show are the exclusive comic book and obviously the notorious hats that have been getting a ton of attention.
I think we should start with the comic books. We have more of them than the friends hats.
Okay.
For $89 for live streaming.
Yep. Now, real quick, for everyone who's seeing us at Comic-Con, because we here love digital, but we believe in physical, real-life shit too. So, real quick, do not pick these up if you're going to be in New York City for Comic-Con, because we're live on the show here for $89, but I think at our booths, they're $69. And you do not want to waste $20.
I'm gonna mention this.
All right,
But for a lot of people,
the first time people here up for that,
yeah,
okay, great. So explain that.
If it's your first time here, you can go right down to the bottom right of your screen into your wallet and add the code BEE20. That's going to give you $20 off your first ever purchase, which will make this $89, actually $69. The 273 people. There's 300 people in the
You
room.
mean the 69 number is not high school?
Yeah, my generation is about 6'7" now.
I know, 6'7", 6'7". By the way, you're not in that generation. So you're like,
we're gonna.
oh, mic. Oh, this mic is got it. This is the mic that you're having the whole thing.
We're gonna be ready on the, we should do these.
You ready?
So we have 100?
Yeah.
100 of these going up in the store. We made 1,000 of them. So this is 10% of the whole run before Comic-Con even starts.
Real quick with the chat, it's BEE20 in checkout, everybody, to get this for $20 less. This is, you're just putting this up, you're putting up the 100. Yes. All right, you ready for that?
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of the screens.
Everybody, let's break down the comic real quick before we put this up. So this is the Notorious Ninja comic. This is comic number 7, the origin story and first appearance of the Notorious Ninja. For everybody in the crowd that doesn't know anything about VaynerX, this is we have 268 characters. This is probably one of the 10 to 15 most popular characters. And very sought after. The origin story is crazy. A little bit of skateboard culture in there. But this specifically, people have already bought the comic. For all of you that have already bought the comic, this is an alternate cover and graded. So not in the packs like we did in the bundle that we sold the other day. That this is a different play. We're showing
Yep, so I just took off the seal. It's a David Mack edition. A big comic book artist. We have a graded 9.4. So you're chasing a few different things here. You're chasing the comic book grade. You're chasing the 100 foil editions. You're chasing the 50 autograph editions and the 5 sketch editions.
Let's sell them
all inside this box.
Let's sell them. Ezra, you ready?
They're listed.
They are listed at the bottom. And there we go. All right, we just listed them.
Listed.
David Mack issue
They're
of
sold
comic
out.
number 7. Excuse me?
They're sold out.
$189.
That's
way better than I expected. But like, again, sorry, show, give me 1 second, I'm talking out of the crowd. I just need everybody to understand what just happened. We just sold 100 comics at either $89 or $69 in what's going to be about 3 to 4 sets. But there was $20 off the first time buyers. Like, again, I just think this is really important. Like, a lot of people grew up in e-commerce, a lot of people in retail. Like, the speed and the scale, right? And I will tell you, as a shopper of this format, and QVC people can probably explain this to you way better, there's just something different when you're interacting with someone live that makes you shop in a different way than you're doing when you're just going to an app or on eBay. Obviously, it's not lost to everybody. The way you shop in a physical store feels different than the way you do online, but there's something about the dynamic of the live component that adds an element. I mean, this hat, I'm actually, by the way, the back just went so fast, I'm actually scared. So, Ezra, can you just get this over with? Because a lot of people are about to be pissed in the chat with me.
About 30 seconds.
This is gonna be what, $55, right? Yeah. So $55. Notorious Ninja hat, everybody. This is just black. Just black. Correct me if I'm wrong, we're only doing 30.
25.
Yikes. Are you putting it up? Like, what's happening? Right,
Can
can you count it down? Because I'm really.
Yeah, 25 hats for 367 people watching this.
This is gonna be bad.
Which is, it's gonna go very fast, but it's gonna be bad because many people a little less than me.
Yes. Ezra, you gonna count me down? Everybody get your trigger fingers fast. Fanatics people, please get your trigger fingers fast. And we're doing something cool, a new feature on Fanatics in a moment.
Yep.
I'm excited about that. You're gonna explain that in a second. Everybody stay for that on the Fanatics show. We have a really, really, really cool feature that Fanatics is launching that I'm blown away by that we're gonna unleash here in a second. But you ready, Ez?
Yep.
Can I count down with you?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So you're not caught off guard on the app. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listed, Ezra. And they were listed.
And featured at the bottom of their screen.
Okay, the ninja hats are up. And
15 sold. 15 sold.
Look, my poor 3 seconds.
20 sold.
Sold out.
Sold out.
All right. Sold out.
25 hats and $55.
Great.
Now we got Bobby and Rush.
Okay, so what do we want to do next? Let's do the blasters because that's what people want. All right, everybody. Everybody, by the way, back to the VaynerX community. I'm going to now focus back on all of you. All this stuff's available at Comic-Con, as you know, tomorrow through Sunday at the Javits Center while supplies last. We also have a bunch of live shows the rest of this week on Fanatics and other platforms. Please check us out. We will keep you updated on all of that. These, by the way, for context for everybody, this is an amazing thing that we've also done with Fanatics Inc. They own Topps. These are our VaynerX trading cards. This is the Topps Chrome Blaster. This came out at $25. These came out in June. May. This came out in May at 20. Shut up. This came out in May at $25 a box. The current price in the open market is about $215 a box, which is what we're going to sell it for. And so that's what
A lot of people in the comments are just saying, oh, they don't know how to buy. In a typical show, we would actually give a much more of a walkthrough. A lot of people show them exactly what to press. Gary's big on the tutorials for actually hosting it. We've got 10 minutes and we're trying to show you how it all works. So for the people in the chat right now, don't let this be a point of frustration. We're going to be live all the time with more stuff for you.
No, but you're allowed to be frustrated with Prince. It's all his fault. All right, let's put up some. Let's put up some blaster packs. $2.15 a box. Get your first box tops. We're only doing 10. Okay, let's put up 10. That's fine. I want to run this quick because good live. All right, everybody. The blaster boxes are up. If you want to grab your first blaster ever, or if you want to get some, make sure you pick some up. And I think we should just pin that to the store. And I think what we should do is instant reps. Quick then.
Okay, so we spoke about it on the panel. Fanatics' big way of reducing friction, allowing people to get in easier, is we actually have graded cards that are from Gary's collection. You can do it with hundreds, but we're just doing 3 to make it a quick tutorial. It's actually our first time doing it as well. But what happens is we take cards that Gary already has in his collection graded. These ones are VaynerX cards, but they don't have to be. And it's actually a technology that randomizes it. So we have 3 graded cards. It's going to randomize to 3 different buyers in a pretty cool way that you'll be able to see on the screen. So for the people buying, we have 3 cards featured. It's $333. You get $150. Big deal. Gary's going to lose some money. $150 for 3 VaynerX cards. Same 3 cards, right? So you can get either a 1-of-1 Stingray from Series 2.
I want to apologize to Jared. Jared just said first VaynerX experience disappointed. I apologize, Jared. Just send me a message to Gary and VaynerX. I'm not sure if it's because the product sold out or something with the app, but I want to make sure I address that for you, brother. I apologize about that. Keep going.
So we have 3 graded cards, $150 each, which are all great deals, but one of them for everyone watching, great deals that we're bringing to you from the Fly Fish event. We have a Stingray Series 2 1-of-1. We have a Lit Lamb Series 1 PSA 9. And we have a Black Cat Shimmer from Topps Chrome. $150. I texted you with the screenshot of the 3. Gary ruins everything. Okay. So, support at Fanatics Live support at fanatics.live is the best place to go for questions about the platform or anything of the sort. But I'm telling you all right now, we have 3 instant rips about to be listed. They're going to be $150. You can't really lose. Gary's hooking it up along with Fanatics Live here at the Live Shopping Summit. Ezra's going to get them listed, then we're going to reveal them one by one. Let's get into it. A great way of showing how sports card sellers, trading card sellers are using repacks, very frictionless. We don't even have to ship these cards after. Those are now listed in the shop. And they're sold. The 3 repacks. The instant rips.
So break that down. The reason I'm excited about this is one of the reasons I became infatuated with NFTs and where the world is going is the concept of buying goods, especially if you have intent to trade or sell them, and never taking physical control of it and being able to transact on it. So Fanatics has built a full stack where my card collection, for example, is predominantly in the state of Oregon in warehouses where we're able to put them up right now, as we just clearly did. People are able to buy it, but that person's able to just move it into their vault and never have it leave that environment. I think we're going to see with the blockchain and with AI and with these live components and with companies like Fanatics and others building these tech stacks and these physical stacks that allow you to take ownership of products but never have to grab them physically. So if you think about a lot of you that have bought and sold through eBay and did different things of that nature, it's a pretty big innovation and a lack of friction that I think is going to make the experience dramatically better.
So we're going to reveal the cards one by one from Gary's collection to the new owners. Ezra, let's start with number 1. Who's the buyer on it?
Tom C67.
Tom C67.
Let's clap it up for Tom C67.
Getting a round of applause for this. So now it's going to reveal which card of the 3 he gets.
Oh, interesting. That's a cool experience.
All right, so now we're about to reveal it.
Oh, I like this a lot. So, are they seeing this on screen?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just mobile.
They're not seeing it.
Oh, got it. I'm mobile. It looks cool for everyone watching. Ooh, the Shimmer Black Hat. Shimmer Black Hat for Tom C. So 2 more. The 1-of-1 from Series 2 and the Series 1 still remaining.
out of this room, and so you can unveil the others so the buyers can see it. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today on this full day event. I want to thank Avery and the rest of the team who's done an incredible job. Let's clap it up for them. I hope this inspires some action. I'm excited to go upstairs and see all of you upstairs, which is a beautiful venue. Avery, take away and wrap us up.
Okay, everybody get up for Gary and Rips going live. We talked a lot about the skill that goes into being able to move thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions, if you're Kim, dollars worth of products. And you guys got a little sneak peek into it. If you want to learn more about this, I highly suggest you follow along. Watch what VaynerX is doing across channels. Watch what they're doing on VaynerX Live. So we are going to go upstairs and have a very fun happy hour. But before you leave, but wait, there's more. You have a gift bag on each of your chairs. And I wanted to say a big thank you to our partners who helped make this great. Our partners and friends at VaynerX, of course. You've got a hat from PacSun. You've got a bunch of cool things from Fanatics, from Mac, from all the partners. And you also have a Labubu. So get excited about this. We're going to be taking everybody upstairs right to here. Excuse me. Follow Jamie in the white vest. Thank you guys for coming. If you enjoyed it, feel free to share on social. And see you upstairs for a drink.
Right this way, friends.
Everyone watch your step. There's cords here.
Exhale.